Restaurateurs are a rare breed. Where others see roadblocks, they see opportunity. Where some see tight spaces, they see untapped creativity. And where most see an old building, they see a chance to preserve a piece of historical community space. Because after all, food and culture go hand in hand. And that, in a nutshell, is the story of Ogden, a city that's practically a landmark in itself, proudly preserving and celebrating its roots along the Union Pacific train line and the storied legacy of a historic 25th Street, all while keeping things fresh, hip, and undeniably cool. Ogden thrives on the power of community, the connections that weave people together, sparking collaborations that almost always, inevitably, deliciously involve food. So what happens when the one and only Kim Bouchard of Roosters teams up with some of the best cheesemakers Utah has ever seen in beehive cheese in a spot that features a menu curated by executive chef Pete Bouchard, and then just for good measure, joins forces with the quintessential neighborhood coffee shop Kaffe Mercantile to offer coffee beverages along with blending in some of their own greatest hits off of their menu, all under the mindful curation of master culture champion and community connector Kim Bouchard, housed in the legendary old Greyhound bus depot on historic 25th Street. Well, my friends, the Mercantile is born, and the rest, well, that's the story best told over a good meal. This week on Taste Utah. Hi, friends.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Oh my gosh, well, I'm hungry, so I'm glad that you prepared this veritable feast for me.
Just a few things.
Kim, Nick, Lance, and then our wonderful friend who we know and love, Ogden Community Champion, Kim Bouchard. The Mercantile is this sort of brainchild of all of you.
Kim is just known in town and probably along the entire Wasatch Front as the bringer together of people. You know, I'm with Roosters Hospitality Group, which owns Roosters Brewing Company and Union Grill and a couple other restaurants across the area here. But we were looking for an office space, and this building that we're sitting in now was there. A banner went out, and it was right around Thanksgiving time, and it just kind of piqued our interest. Hey, maybe that's where we should look at for being an office space, and that's really not what this street needs. We wanted to make sure that there was activated, public-facing things, but also what a dream to have our offices right here at the corner of 25th and Grant, heart of historic 25th Street in Ogden.
Your original flagship location of Roosters is Roosters
Just a few
on
doors
25th.
down. Yep.
Yeah, on historic 25th. You're all looking for
So Kim
office
makes
space.
a call and, hey, I think we're gonna put an offer in on this, but we want to have a coffee shop be in the front half.
Okay.
And this immediate thought of the boys up at Kaffe Merc.
Rewind 4 days earlier from the building.
Okay, we're
for
still
sale.
in 2022.
We're still in 2022,
Okay, love it.
November 2022. The lighting ceremony of the Ogden Christmas Village. I'm on the Christmas Village committee.
Okay, and it just happens at the
And
park across
it
the street.
happens right across the street.
Okay.
Yes. The thought inside of my head was different than the conversation that Lance and I had ever had,
Okay.
which was something cool needs to go in that building. Everything, I had like my rom-com movie moment.
Yeah.
You know, the lights kind of like faded in the background and everything went dim, and I was like, I just need the front half of that building. I could put a really cool coffee shop in the front half of that. That's all I need.
Yeah.
That was on Saturday after Thanksgiving. And then fast forward to Monday when all of the real estate business and talk went down with Kim Bouchard with this building. And Kim calls me on a Tuesday and says, what are you doing? And I said, well, I have a performance. I do theater. And she said, okay, real quick, the opportunity has come up to buy the Greyhound bus depot on 25th and Grant. Do you want to move in with me? I was like, yeah, 100%. And we hung up because I had to rush into the venue I was performing in. And I looked up and I said, that was quick.
Yeah,
Talk about the
absolutely.
universe just answering your request, you know.
Yeah.
4 days later, that was a huge ask, but
Britt from Beehive got involved. I ended up getting involved. So we're all 5 partners in the building and in the business here. There's a lot of heart in that partnership that all the things that matter to us and the passion behind each of those brands and the things that we care about in the community of it. And it really is just this kind of special, magical thing that's happening right here, which is great.
I love it. And also I feel like you're embracing what this space meant to generations that even came before you. You know, there's some really special, intentional design. You want to talk about that a little bit?
For sure.
Yeah.
Somebody had this bench that was originally in the Greyhound Bus Depot with the intent to refinish it. It ended up in the basement of a golf shop and then didn't get refinished, and the golf shop closed, and they said, oh, that's trash, that's going to the dump. And somebody else said, no, I want it, I'll refinish it, and ended up in their basement for another 20 or so years.
Jeez.
And they happened to know Kim Bouchard and said, oh, I heard you purchased the Greyhound Bus Depot, I have something you need. And showed up with this worn and tattered, sprung out bench that never been so thrilled to see a piece of trash in my life, you know?
Well, and you brought it to life, much like this bus depot, you know? You not only brought it to life, but when you walk in the front door, it's literally almost like the centerpiece of the space.
People have kind of sought us out and told us stories of, oh, my dad used to ride the bus to work from there, and so I remember waiting on a bench just like that with my mom for my dad to get back from work. Or when we did our business license and permitting, the gal at the city let us know, hey, my brother left for Vietnam from that building, and immediately started, just tears in her eyes of what that felt like and the memory of that with her family. And so there is a lot of story and meaning in this building and in this corner of this particular street, and it does feel like a real gift to get to honor that back. But I think it's a gift to us to get to hear those stories on a near daily basis, and the things that people share and what it means to them is a really cool thing to be.
Historic 25th Street is about the history of this space, and that's even what you've done here. And when I was up here a couple of weeks ago with Kim Bouchard, and she took me to like the corner of the space and like pulled out
yes. So this building was originally the Union Bus Depot.
Okay.
So Union Station is at the other end of the street.
Yep.
And as trains were kind of morphing into more freeway, highway use, train to bus travel was a big deal.
Okay.
So this was kind of the new thing. And so when this was opened as the Union Bus Depot, someone actually inscribed on the cornerstone, which is over here, I think it's a pencil that is written on the wall, and it just says, 10,000 people were here for the opening of the depot. And it talks about what was happening in World War II at the time. Hitler's on the run, and we've made sure that that's still accessible. We actually want to put plexiglass and have it be backlit so it can be on display all of the time, but we'll have to make sure that you see that while you're here.
Yeah, it really is so special because it helps to remind you of the people that have come before us, that have allowed us to actually sit at this table and be able to have conversation. That history is equally as important as the communities that we are building here today. And restaurants like this, restaurants like Roosters, even Kaffe Mercantile, they don't exist without community. And I think the cornerstone of community is connection and inclusivity. And I feel like that's what Kim does so well. You guys do that so well. Kim, you also do that so well. I mean, you've been a curator of community with farmers markets and downtown Ogden for a long time. And the fruits of that labor are sort of what's on the table right here. We're back in Ogden on historic 25th Street at the Mercantile, a community-driven collaboration between several of Northern Utah's finest. And we're about to dive into the fruits of this labor of love, the food.
The menu here is kind of, it brings in all of the different pieces of partnership, but there's some staple items that are just classics up at Kaffe Mercantile. The chicken salad sandwich is something that is just staple of the neighborhood community up at the Kaffe Mercantile.
How long has that been on your menu?
14 years, probably. 14 of our 15 years it's been on our menu.
I mean, that's amazing.
And it was Barista Sydney's grandma's recipe.
That's a staple. That's a classic. You can get it at Kaffe Mercantile.
Yes.
And then you can also get it here at the Mercantile on 25th. Okay.
This is the O-Town Toast, which is a really fun feature that actually has a jam on it. This is a raspberry jalapeno jam that we carry in our retail selection as well.
Okay.
So this is cream cheese, that raspberry jalapeno jam, you have avocado, and a sliced tomato. This is the cafe salad. This is called shishito roulette.
Okay.
So apparently 1 in 10 shishito peppers can be super spicy. I have not lost the roulette challenge
Put it to the
yet.
test.
No.
I'm gonna say, everyone take one.
Haven't had a spicy
Yeah,
one
I
yet.
feel like
either.
the famous last words. No, just
I know we're
And then
gonna
we have
we're all gonna
like
get
this little lemon fresh aioli as well. And so that's the dipping sauce that's with that there.
Okay. So yummy,
So
yummy
this
with
is
the
a
lemon.
Pete addition to the menu. So
Okay.
if you know Pete, Kim's husband, Pete from
We know
Roosters.
Pete. We love Pete.
Yes.
Famous Pete story. We were featuring the Street Brewery, and I was sitting talking with Kim and Pete. Halfway through our conversation, Pete just got up and left.
That sounds about right. Yes.
I love
And I looked at Kim. I said, "We lost Pete." She's like, "Yep, we lost
He'll
Pete."
be back or he won't.
No, he won't. And we just kept going, and we were like, "He's got stuff to do."
He helped us a ton with cultivating the menu and really crafting all the things that are here. He also helped us bring on our kitchen staff as we were getting open. He helped train and all of that programming and development. This is something that is kind of crazy because if someone mentions a food item on a review, it seems like they're mentioning the Reuben. This is people, they travel here for that Reuben and
it's
they love
beautiful.
that. We were thinking, how many people are going to order a Reuben sandwich? But that's one of our best sellers every single day.
The people have spoken.
Roosters was the first commercial customer client of Beehive Cheese, and
Which I love.
And
I
it's still
love
featured
that story.
heavily on the Roosters menu. We do tastings with Beehive's team pretty frequently, pairing events and things like that. So
classes.
if you want to come for a wine and cheese pairing or how to make a charcuterie board, we do that.
Twist my arm.
But absolutely, those cheeses are featured on the shareable boards as well. This is our 3 cheese board, and then we have the charcuterie board. And then another really fun fact is we had all of our boards. So whether you're looking at the mimosa flights or wine or our shareable, these boards were made specifically for us. We have a local grower who does our microgreens for us just down the street.
Oh my
and
gosh.
she delivers to us every week, which is great.
I love it. What's the blend, can I ask?
Yeah, there's radish, sunflower, baby broccoli, and then we have a little bit of arugula starts sometimes. We try really hard to feature local ingredients, local source things as much as possible. So you see that on the menu consistently. The mimosa flight that's here, really fun flavors. We have a strawberry coconut right now, blackberry basil, a raspberry, and then we have a pineapple habanero right now.
I love it. We have to talk about the beverage menu because you mentioned the mimosas. Looks like there's vino on that end of the table. Of course, Roosters, right? Roosters is literally right next door.
We have a full menu of coffee beverages that we do at Kaffe Mercantile. On weekends for brunch, we roll out our mimosa flights on our fantastic patio out here,
So beautiful.
where the buses used to pull up under the, what is it called, a vestibule, I guess.
We have the wine and beer all 7 days a week. We have those offerings, and then like Lance is saying, the mimosas, and we do a beer-based Bloody Mary.
Okay.
Those are only available on Saturday and Sunday.
We get our coffee beans from Cafe Ibis in
Okay.
Logan. So again, we're trying to keep it as local as possible, you know.
And has that always been the case at Kaffe Mercantile?
Yes.
Yeah.
From day one.
Yeah. Some of these items can be found at both of those locations.
Lance's mom makes handmade turnovers at both of our Cafe Mercantile locations.
No way. So your mom is making turnovers daily, every
Yes.
other?
We bake them fresh every day.
We make them fresh. She comes in once a week to
Okay.
each location.
Okay.
She's 81, just turned 81, and she comes and makes those. And, she's famous. She has her own t-shirt.
I mean,
The turnover lady.
Yeah, she's got her shirt.
The turnover
her
lady.
face on a t-shirt.
yeah,
and
the turnovers are infamous. I hear you
They
sell
are.
out of them.
They're
you gotta
legendary,
get in
yeah.
there
You do,
quick
yeah.
and order your fair share.
Yep.
Nobody makes them like Sharon.
What I will say is now that I know it's there, when people are like, oh, I want to go to Ogden, I always say you have to go to historic 25th Street because it's so special. But if you really want to feel like the neighborhood experience of Ogden, it really is Kaffe Mercantile on 26th Street, because it does just feel, I mean, I had never been there before, and I just felt so welcomed, and like if I was visiting Ogden, this would be like on my top like 5 spots, like not even just restaurants, but like spots I need to visit, spend some time in and get to know the people and just be in the energy of the city and the people.
I think it is such a special place, and I live in that neighborhood too, and they you are right, they do have that corner on lockdown. They are the hosts of that. But I think one thing that's so special is going in there on the weekends, like my kids after soccer game or something, you cannot walk in there without running into 10, a dozen or more people that you know. It just feels like a town reunion every time that you're there.
Yeah.
And they do yoga on Saturdays.
Yeah,
in the
yoga on
back.
Saturdays and Sundays in the backyard.
I think if you're feeling disconnected at all, or maybe you're new to the area, that just sit there.
Yeah.
The friends will come to you, because it is just this absolute magnetic connection point for people.
It's really cool, you know. You say like we're the host of that corner, but it's such a community feel.
Everyone knows everyone, and if you don't, you still touch in to make sure that people are happy, satisfied, seen, which is so important, and that they know they belong. And I think that that's what makes, one of the things that makes what you all are doing so special, because they know it's your intention and you really do care at that level, which is really kind. And I also know that truly that is like the spice of life that runs through Ogden.
You know, we got invited in to be in this project, and it's something that we couldn't have done on our own.
Yeah.
But that support from someone who is that 30-year business owner on 25th Street, and then being able to give us space to then go on, and every single one of these vendors that's reflected on the menu or in the retail has been a similar, like, bringing into the fold of like, okay, here's how to do wholesale. You know, we're working with a lot of really small, and in some cases startups. You know, Cafe Ibis is not small or a startup, but we have lots of others that are, and they're like, this is our first time selling jam this way. This is our first time selling the microgreens this way, and so there's been a lot of learning on all sides, and that's been a really fun thing for us. But the time and focused intention to work together and have this be a place that is not really, you know, like we get to be the face of it a lot, but it's not really about us. It's about all of those moving parts together and the story that and the magic that they make. That's been the most special part, I think, for me.
Well, you care because you care, and the intention is connection, and connection benefits everyone. And when you know what you do really well, then you recognize what somebody else does really well. And it doesn't feel like a threat, it feels like an opportunity. And so the more that you see that, whether it's someone who is just starting, or it's someone like Cafe Ibis that's like been the like coffee lifeblood of the Utah coffee community, you know, since the beginning. You need all of those elements in order to find true success. And I think that's what you're doing here, and what you'll only continue to grow. And like any good farmer, any good artisan, any good mentor, you want to hold the space for growth and recognize the people who contribute in really meaningful ways, and always invite more to join. It's really, really special. I mean, I would love to go up to the original Kaffe Mercantile just to, I mean, number one, I need to try the turnovers, for goodness sake. Is that cool?
Yeah.
The Mercantile on Ogden's historic 25th Street is a celebration of so many different artisans and vendors, but at its heart is the menu at Kaffe Mercantile, who has 2 other locations in Ogden. So today, we round out our episode at their flagship store on 26th Street. Come to the turnovers. Yay. The turnover lady, yay! Look at these.
2 trays.
Oh, 2 trays. Okay, now what do we do?
I like them with some almond icing.
Okay. Lance, lead the way.
I love an almond icing and just the perfect amount of like...
Yeah. Drizzle it. That looks so good.
Right?
Okay, can we each drizzle ours to our own kind of perfection?
That's a little sticky.
Oh my gosh. No, I love it.
These just came out of the oven. Oh, there's a blueberry there. Did we say that?
For some reason, we got a lot of berry ones today.
I love it. Okay, I'm gonna do this one.
We do have lemons.
Pumpkin out
somewhere.
here soon.
It's for peach. Just
Oh yeah.
What's the secret to the pie crust? It's so flaky.
It's basically not what you put in it, but it's how you stir it and handle it.
You don't overwork it.
No, you don't overwork. You just
How many years have you been making pie dough?
Oh, I don't. I started when I was a teenager.
Yeah. What do I love
But
about
it took me a lot of years to perfect it exactly like I wanted it.
Over 60 years.
Yeah, if you haven't got it right by now, probably.
Give it up.
Yeah, give it up.
Do people recognize you on the street as
And occasionally, somebody will, yeah.
you're that turnover lady?
The turnover lady. Or Mama Sharon, huh?
Yeah, Mama Sharon.
Grandma, just Grandma.
Oh.
On our very first day open, Lance's niece, Monica, came into the kitchen and said, Grandma, can I have another rollover?
So cute. Oh my gosh, what a gift. This is so fun.
Well, you can't have too many grandmas.
No, I agree. You can't have too much love, right? The more love in the world.
We opened on July 4th in 2009, and what we did that day was we gave away free turnovers.
Why?
So she stood in the kitchen the entire day and turned out turnovers warm the whole day.
I mean,
And
that's
we
love.
We're like,
The
how do
most
we get
I've
people to
ever
come
made
back
in one
on our
day
first
is
day?
110.
110.
That's the most I've ever made
Okay,
in one day.
one day.
is
I mean-
110.
That's a lot.
But I just do probably 70 in this shop a week and 30 or 40 in the other one.
It's so special. I love this place. Just thank you so much.
Should we have you hold up here?
Oh yeah, hold
She
up your
probably
shirt.
better because I have frosting all over.
Oh, but world's best turnovers. Spit an image.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yours here.
They even have a little S on there.
With the perfect drizzle of icing.
I think I was a little thinner in this picture.
That was before all the turnovers.
Yeah, exactly.
So cute.